Art for me is a release. It's a way to say the things that I typically feel unable to say with words. And I also find it interesting how to find ways to visually say those things. At the core of my work is identity. The things that have affected who we are, the things that drive us to do what we do, and how those things effectively are like a forecast for our future as well. The works I have done over time are different. It has evolved from painting traditionally on canvas and then realizing that I'm trying to tell indigenous stories, local stories, stories that are personal to me, and asking myself why I'm not doing that on a local background as well. And that is how my work has evolved into what it is now with the use of the Ange of the Teeth people, which is where I'm from originally. And also finding ways and understanding how belonging to one community doesn't separate you or sort of break your connection from others. We are all interconnected. We are all affected by similar factors. When I work, I meditate. It starts with an idea, and then I let it take me where it wants to go. So I meditate through my practice, I meditate through my work. I address my hurt, the things that have hurt me, and then I find ways to depict these things, those ideas visually. I use the teeth ange specifically as a way to highlight an aspect of culture in the hopes of preservation as well, hoping that while I'm telling these contemporary stories, I'm also showing a new use for a traditional fabric. My work is very physical. When you see it, it's like the textures are there, and there's the layers, and there's the painting aspect. A lot of the time almost feels like just a fraction of all of that. My childhood was interesting. I come from a large family. My dad is one of nine, my mom is one of seven. I'm one of nine, so I come from a large family. It's a lot of like chaos, noise, emotions. So I tend to say perhaps the reason I am such a hermit and an introvert is because I have all the friends I need within one dynamic. And I get a lot of my stories, obviously, from my experiences with my family. My dad, especially, is very good at telling these stories. So I can definitely say that my dad has had the strongest influence on me artistically and personally. My mom as well, in her own way, obviously. Color in my work is not new per se. So when I was painting traditionally on canvas, color is one of the things I enjoy the most. With the Ange cloth, I was sticking to neutral tones, earth tones, just because of the earthiness as well of the hand woven fabrics, the cottons, and I felt like that offset it and allowed the fabric, to really come through, so that the hand work of these artisans are appreciated more. But in recent times, I started playing with color on the Ange fabric and pushing the boundaries of what it could be, still allowing the patterns show, but imposing color in this. And the use of green specifically for me is life, it's growth, not just in my work, but even within myself as an individual, as a person. I use blues for like refreshing, like there's something calming and cool about that, especially when I'm dealing with subjects that might be jarring. So in one particular work, I'm showing the Tiv traditional totems and carvings, and those things are meant to be ritualistic, and but then using the blue on that is like sort of taking away that edge and allowing the viewer to reinterpret and interact with that idea differently. Interwoven realities as a body of work is me addressing certain hurts. There's a quote by James Baldwin, and he says that your hurt is not, I'm paraphrasing now, that your hurt is not the issue, it's how you use your hurt to send the message or, to heal other people. So interwoven reality for me is dealing with that. It stems from a conversation I had with my sister, and the realization that there were things that we had both dealt with at different times individually from the same people or even different people, where we were either told similar things and then we suddenly realized, because our relationship had suffered, and then we suddenly realized that there was a lot that connected us, there was a lot that we had in common, in spite of the fact that we felt at odds. And that was the birth of Interwoven Realities. It addressed some of the hurts, and as a result, our relationship, our bond became stronger. So within the body of work, there's a lot of, there's the idea of seeds that are planted. So when you look at the stencil forms or the forms within, there's movement as well. It's the idea of, movement, like change, basically change through life, change through time. There's the planting, there's the time for sowing, as the Bible says, sowing and then reaping. We might not see it immediately, we might not even know, but it will have an effect not just on you but on someone else. And then the bees represent cross-pollination, because that is effectively what bees do. And as human beings, there's a cross-pollination of ideas, cross-pollination of effects, events, and then we find that our paths cross. Certain things have had an effect on you, but they've had a different effect on someone else. And that's the idea of interwoven realities. My name is Wanger Ayu. I'm a visual artist and a fashion designer based in Lagos, Nigeria.